Good morning, everybody. Welcome to ENG110. My name is Jackie Pearson. You probably already know that from the other video, but this is our first official weekly walkthrough. And every Monday, I'm going to be coming to you via video to help you make sure that you are doing everything that you need to do in each of the units for ENG110. Sometimes we think we read the instructions and maybe we miss a few things. So these little walkthroughs are really important. They will help you make sure that you meet all of the requirements because, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, most of the time, the reason people don't succeed at ENG110 is not because they're not capable of doing the work. All of you are absolutely 100% capable of doing the work. It's either that you fall behind and then kind of give up. Please don't do that. If you fall behind, please contact me. Let me know, and we will work out a plan to get you caught up. Or they turn in work that's not complete. There are very specific requirements in the assignments, whether they be writing assignments, formal writing assignments, whether they be the tests that you'll take. There's not very many of those, luckily, or whether it even be a discussion board topic, because sometimes we skim over the little prompt and we write what we think we read, but we've missed some of the actual requirements. So please do make a point of on Monday or Tuesday at the latest, coming in, checking in with this announcement, watching this video. I promise that it is worth your time. Some of them will be fairly short. Some of them will be a little bit longer. I try to keep them as quick as possible, but it will make your life a lot easier when it comes to making sure you are doing what you need to do for the course. So what we do each week is first, we will look at the class itself. So here's our course in Blackboard. And we are, of course, in Unit 1. Now, as you see, and as you may have seen from signing in already on your own, the first page that you see will be the announcements page. So you will not be able to miss the fact that these announcements have been posted. You may skip over them, but please do not. Everything that's in the announcements in our course is going to be relevant. So let's go ahead and click over here on the navigation bar. And I want to show you a couple of things. One, of course, is the Meet Your Instructor. There is me, of course, and here is my contact information. This is super important because it will help you understand what time you can contact me live. I am only online. I live in Florida. I'm nowhere near most of you, and in the online classes at Post, nobody is usually even near each other. So it is a fully online class. You can text me during office hours. That's my cell phone number. And then if you text me during office hours, we can talk. We might meet on Zoom. We could use Teams. There's a lot of opportunities there for connection. You can email me anytime. And I put here that emails are typically answered within 24 hours. It is more likely that if you send me a pressing email, it's going to be answered within a couple of hours. I do get my emails on my phone, so I typically try to answer those ASAP, especially if it's something that you're struggling with and that sort of stuff. The other place that I want you to know about for contacting me is this link over here where it says ENG110 drop-in hours. I will be live on Tuesday evenings between 7 and 7:30. As you know, as you see, that's during my office hours. We will be live on the Teams chat during that time. Other times we will probably meet in my Zoom, which is what I'm using right now. I love Zoom. Ask the Instructor. This link is the discussion board forum that is about public questions. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. Okay, so when you have a question about the course or any of the assignments, especially one that you think other students might have, post it here on this discussion board. And when you're done typing it, you just click submit. When you see that something has popped up in here, you can have, you can read everybody's questions, my replies, you can reply to each other. But this is a place where you can ask questions that can get everybody the answer at the same time. It is a really good idea to subscribe to this forum because it will alert you every time somebody posts something. You may not want to do that with all the discussions, but this one is a good one for that. Okay, so that's where you locate me and how to get some extra help with things. And then, of course, we're going to click on Unit 1. Every unit is set up the same way. You have an overview and objectives slide. You have readings and resources, and you notice this one has a folder icon. That's because there's stuff inside. So we have to click on that. You'll notice this one is not underlined, right? So if there's no underline, you don't have to click on it. Everything that you need is right here, and you can read these for yourself. I'm not going to read them to you necessarily, although sometimes I will highlight things that are important. But in the readings and resources, you're going to click, you notice it is underlined. So let's go ahead and look at your readings and resources. Everything you need is linked directly in the class, so you don't have to go buy this textbook that it talks about. Everything is integrated into the text here. So when you go to read the assignment, you'll click on it and you will read through everything. Make sure that you are doing the readings. One of the biggest mistakes that people make in online classes is pretending like there's no reading assignments. You're here to learn things, right? So if it was all about stuff that you already knew, we would just give you a test or make you write a paper. But you're here to learn new skills. So how do we learn those things? Well, there's a variety of ways. One is reading. Some we learn by video. There's all kinds of ways that we learn things, but reading assignments are the absolute fundamental part of any college class. And especially in the online classes, sometimes we can skip over them fairly easy because there's no textbook sitting on our kitchen table, but they are no less important than if there was. In the second little box, you notice that we have another couple of readings. These are fairly short. And then we have an activity. These interactive activities will help you learn the material just like a reading assignment, but it's more interactive. There'll be things for you to do, things for you to click on. And finally, the other way that we learn in these online classes is through video. Now, my videos might run a little bit longer because I'm trying to go over everything, but you will notice that when you have videos embedded, they are short. This one's only 2 minutes and 21 seconds. And then if you need the transcript, and I am a very visual person, so I like to be able to read it, the transcript is here for you to download as well. Notice these little A's with the drop down mean that there are alternative formats. So there's different ways of getting that information anytime you have a click there. And so you can click on those and choose what's best for you. In this next box, this is going to be a super important box throughout the entire course because of this first link. You are going to be using what's called APA formatting in ENG110. And this is literally, and I've got to share this so you can see it. This document is a Microsoft Word document, and it is already set up in APA format. So start now, download this, save it on your computer. In fact, I'm going to show you what I would do if I wanted to use this again and again. I'm going to click Save As, and I'm going to say ENG110 template, and I'm going to save it on my own computer in my documents files so that I do not have to come back over and over again to Unit 1 and remember which folder it's in and all of that stuff. That is there for you to use. And as with any template, sometimes you'll need all the pieces, sometimes you will not. Often, especially in the first module, we won't have a references page because we're not doing any research. But most of the time, you'll have your three main things. You'll have the cover page, the document itself, where the main title is repeated, but then we have the essay or whatever it is, and then the references page. And we're going to study how to do these things, but this template will get you started. There's also a link on how to submit an assignment on Blackboard. That's an important one to pay attention to. And there's a couple of different things here for that. And then we have an optional resource. Now, an optional resource is exactly what it sounds like. You should watch this. They are awesome, but you will not be tested on it. So that's what it means to be optional. Okay. All right, so let's go back then to the module because we are currently in the readings and resources. So we can click on Unit 1 and it'll take us back there. And the next two pieces after the readings and resources are always the discussion board post, which will happen every single week of the course, and then the official writing assignment. Now, 3 weeks out of the 8, you will have what's called a knowledge check instead of a writing assignment. You'll always have 2 assignments each week. One of them will for sure be a discussion board. The other one will either be a writing assignment, like a paper, but they're usually fairly short, or a knowledge check, which is a test. Okay. So again, these are even in the order that you need to do them. So if you come into the unit and you do all of these things in order, you're going to succeed. All right. Unit 1, introductions. You can read everything that you need to right here on this screen. But again, you notice this is an underline. So let's click on it and we'll see that, yay, Brittany has already signed in. But this is where you will go to post your discussion boards. Now, normally, oops, let me just go back. Normally, you will have your first initial post is due on Wednesday. And then by the following Sunday, you will respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Week 1's a little bit different. You don't have to respond to anybody else, although I love it when you do. Because people are still joining, right? In the first week, there's a lot of dropping and adding done. So this week, you have the whole week to post it. So by Sunday night, but remember, start keeping that on your radar. Normally by Wednesday, you have to have something posted on the discussion boards. So this week, here's what you're going to do. Your first paragraph is going to be an introduction. Introduce yourself to the class. After reviewing the assignments listed on the course information page, which is over on that left-hand margin, write a brief explanation about how you plan to use your time management skills from your first 2 classes to help you complete your written assignments, and then share your feelings regarding writing coming into the class. In the second paragraph, and there's got to be 2 paragraphs. Again, this is where these weekly walkthroughs come in handy because some people will breeze through this and then post 1 paragraph introducing themselves and forget about the second part. So in the second paragraph, you're going to write descriptively using the 5 senses about 1 place that has influenced you in a positive way. You should use descriptions and details to paint a clear picture of this place. Now, every semester, somebody emails me and they're like, but I don't have a place that has influenced me in a positive way. I bet you do. It could be indoors, it could be outdoors. Some people have a spot even just in their yard where it's like, oh, when I want to get away from everybody, I go out here. Or this is the area where I play with my dog. Or this is my favorite room in the house. This is the room I lock myself in the house. I want to get away from everybody. You have a place. I promise you, you have a place. Influenced you in a positive way is a little bit of a lofty way of putting it. But what's your favorite place? And doesn't have to be one you have access to now. Maybe it was your childhood bedroom. I know if I were going to do this, I'd probably use my grandmother's house. My grandma's house was my favorite place of all time. So think about it that way. Think about it as a favorite place. And then you're going to tell us, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? And in my grandmother's case, I could also include, what does it taste like? It kind of depends on your place is, whether taste actually comes into play or not, but use the 5 senses. All right. So that's 1 paragraph. coupled with the one paragraph of your introduction. So separate them out. Make sure you write 2 full paragraphs. Every assignment comes with a rubric, and these are handouts. You certainly don't have to print them out, but especially when we get into some of the longer assignments, I think it's helpful. But this is how your grade is determined. Now, this is the Unit 1 discussion board, which only contains these 10 points. All the upcoming discussion boards will also include these points. So this will let you know ahead of time how your discussion boards are going to be graded. All right, then we have the official hardcore writing assignment. So this is the one that you're going to create using that template that we just looked at, that APA template. So your document is going to have a cover page. It's going to have a second page, and it will probably not have a references page. Probably won't need one for this particular assignment. So for your first written assignment, you will write a descriptive paragraph based on a character or location of a movie, TV series that is significant to you. Within that paragraph, you will have to use description and reflection to show why that character or location is significant. So if I were going to do this assignment, I would probably try to think of what is my favorite TV show or what is my favorite movie and go from there. I would probably choose Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original back in the 70s, because I was a baby then and it was my favorite. And I can choose either a character like Willy Wonka or Charlie, but I could also just include a location. I could talk about the location, and I will tell you, when I was a little kid, that first room where everything is edible with the chocolate river, I just thought that was the coolest thing in history. So that's probably what I would do. And I would describe it. I would talk about the chocolate river. I would talk about the little daffodil teacup that he drinks out of and then eats. I would talk about how the little stairway brings them down. I would talk about how they first view the Oompa Loompas in that room. That's what you want to do. Okay. It is one paragraph, but that paragraph is going to be pretty full of good details. In fact, in the rubric, so if we click on this link, we will get not only the rubric, excuse me, but the assignment. Now, these, I do think it's a good idea to print out. Honestly, I think you would be in your best interest to double check these, because every single time before you turn it in, you can go through these requirements and make sure that you have met them all. Please submit a Microsoft Word document or PDF. The assignment should be a minimum of 7 sentences in length and should include the following: an APA style title page. Again, you've got a template to use. 7 sentences or more for the paragraph. The whole document needs to be double spaced and use 1-inch margins. And then you should use an APA recommended font. Times New Roman 12 is what we typically use. That's what the template is already set up in. So easy peasy. If you use that, you will not get that wrong. You also need to, after you write it, revise it. Make sure that you're proofreading. Make sure that you're using spell check and grammar check. Use Grammarly. That's a great tool that you have access to. You can have somebody else read it for you and help you with your errors, because this is an official, full-fledged assignment. You have to utilize the senses because it's descriptive. So whether it's about a person or a place, you're going to talk about those sensory details. And then, why is it important? I know with me, the fantasy aspect of having that chocolate river was a big deal. So I'm going to talk about why it was important to me, or why I found it so fascinating. Now, below that is the rubric, and all of the rubrics are similar for the writing assignments. They have like the point breakdown. It's very clear. This again is something that you want to double check and make sure that you've done it. So something as simple as going, oh, paragraph is at least 7 sentences in length because I want to score the highest I can. that's going to remind you. So even if you forget what the requirements say, the rubric will help you, and vice versa. Okay. Once you are done with that, you are going to click on this link and you are going to upload. You're not going to write a submission. You're going to browse local files. And I'm just going to use the template that I just created. It doesn't have anything in it yet, but let's go ahead and attach that so you can see what it looks like. You will need to click this button. I agree to submit my paper to the global reference database, and you need to submit. This will give you a box to write in, but this is not an official assignment. This is where you could tell me if there was something you wanted me to know about it. This is not submission of your document. That needs to be done as an attached file, okay? If you have any problems, excuse me, or questions, make sure you reach out. I am available, and we will have a good first week. And I will be talking to you throughout the week. And of course, next Monday, look for another video. So everybody take care. Happy week 1. Enjoy.